What's up, folks? We're gonna do another one of these Connor kind of talks over playing Wilds and do like a little bit of a, kind of like a state of the game, state of the channel type of thing real quick. Also, just to get out a video to start off September with. I know this one's probably not gonna do anything super crazy, but let's just get the channel moving along and healthy and really going with September. Now that most of my going away is done, besides like one long weekend I got coming up, and the world review is done and all that kind of stuff, the channel is able to kind of just go back to normal a little bit for the first time in a while, and we can just do basically our normal upload schedule, which is something every week or whatnot, with like 1 to 3 streams per week. Honestly, I might experiment. It won't be like an every week sort of thing, because I still have to do a fair amount of my regular work and everything. But I do want to mess around a little bit more with... Sorry, that attack is always fucking weird to dodge. I do want to mess around a little bit more with maybe streaming 3 times a week. Definitely not every week. Maybe not every other week. I don't think it's going to be anything like hyper consistent. But maybe like 2 times a month. Maybe like 3 times a month. Just to play some other games. Just to do some other stuff. If you watch the live streams at all, you watch the stuff over on the second channel, you know that I've really been enjoying Space Marine 2, Warhammer 40k. That's been a blast to play with the guys. There's also the nice next big Helldivers 2 update stuff coming out that I'm really looking forward to. Did he always have that kind of like exhaust thing on the end of the tail? But yeah, no, we're trying out the 8-star Gravios just while we do this. So I want to see how they feel, because these would be the first 8-star 2s in the game. Now, Gravios is so big body and so bulky and so wound covery that I'm not imagining that this is still going to be like the most dangerous thing in the world, but he definitely hits harder. Harder than I remember. I bet someone can actually tell me if they've got, the exact same 8-star multipliers that the tier 3's got. I'm definitely just getting bonked for more than I'm used to. That is for damn sure. This is cool, though. This is... Again, I'm interested how much this is pre-planned and how much this is reactionary, because we might be getting to a point where the developers are like, okay, you want the entire roster to kind of be able to stand up to how powerful you are in this game? Well, we kind of do too. We've heard you, and we're going to be moving towards that. I know this quest even got delayed for about a week, I believe. So probably the case that they were finagling and moving around with a whole bunch of values. Just wanting to make sure that they got Gravios into a position that they liked. Definitely feels more threatening. I can say that for a matter of fact. Bow gets is so fun. I mean, I've been talking up Bois, especially as like a single player weapon in this game, for a while. I feel like every time I do these just kind of Connor chats and yaps kind of videos, I'm usually playing it. That's not even necessarily on purpose. It's like Bow's just so fun for so many matchups in this game. Also, this one, even though I have Rathian coated all over it, it is specifically the Mizu set that I have, which is a lot of fun for Gravios, and I also use Julie's for New Udra. Shit. Yeah, alright, they bonk. So I'm wondering if they're going to start putting these guys out naturally in the maps. If we're going to start getting your 8-star Rathalos, your 8-star Guardians. Damn, dude, okay. I bet we're maybe get like 8-star like Alpha Doshas. Stuff like that, moving in that kind of direction. That'd be sick. So I'm hoping it's more than just an event quest type of thing. This feels like it'd totally just be a little tiny baby experiment just to test some waters right off of the bat to see what exactly they want to do. And how exactly they want to handle it. And that's great, because a lot of people have said, and I am one of them, that this is kind of pound for pound, just in terms of pure fight design, and how cool the movesets are, and how diverse the movesets are, and just the monsters being able to do a whole bunch of cool stuff. This is one of the single strongest rosters that they've ever made. Like, there really aren't that many, like, oh, I have to fight that guy type of monster. Not really any. I don't even know if there's anything I'd put in, like, the lower... Not much I'd put in, like, the lower levels of mid. Certainly nothing I'd, put in, like, a garbage tier. So, having them all now being able to compete, it's kind of cool. I mean, I guess we'll see how far they go exactly. It'd be really weird if, like, in title updates 3.5, because they've been doing these kind of, like, in-betweener updates every once in a while. I've already disconnected from the server game. I couldn't be more disconnected, so thank you for that. That's really cool of you. Either I'm really good at managing this, or the... Oh, wow, that was fucking fast. Interesting. Oh, that was close. That felt faster than it normally is. Interesting. Didn't necessarily do it again. I haven't fought these guys yet. I know they've been out for a while, but I went away for Labor Day. I've also just been playing a lot of SM2 in my free time, just because that's just the game I want to be playing in my free time right now. And I only have so much time for a not work time game where I can just play it for the sake of playing it. Yeah, okay, wow, their aggro is not crazy. That other one's like almost right on top of it. They've been doing a lot of things to just give you a whole bunch more options in this game, I feel. They seem to really realize one of the strengths that this game has, which is just options, 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 options. Especially if you're someone who likes the game and likes just kind of playing it for the sake of playing it, and kind of doing kind of like a semi-casual look at the game, where you're not like hardline grinding the same exact thing over and over again, but you're also able to go after... It's something we've talked about with the strengths of the roster before, where you can kind of just fight borderline whatever you want. But they're doing a lot of interesting things. So it looks like they're promoting these guys up to 8 stars. So if they do that for investigations, that just adds even more monsters into the maximum reward pool, and that opens up even more options for investigations and quests in that pool, even though everything was already accessible at the 8-star level. I can't believe that procced dodge. Wow, that is fucking damage. Holy. That's cool, though. Yeah, no, he hurts. Definitely in terms of just damage output, I definitely feel the 8-star. Again, I feel like someone probably has actually looked at the real numbers and can tell me if the wound changes are the exact same. I guess he definitely feels a little bit more resilient, I suppose. Maybe nothing like hyper super drastic, but I definitely feel like I'm clowning on him less easily than I normally do. Although this isn't like a speedrunning set or anything even remotely close to that. It's just a fun kind of counter-ish set to how Gravios works. This all of a sudden gets a lot scarier when they're both coming at me at the same time. The other sick thing that they're doing is the Raidao, New Udra, and eventually Laggy's gonna be in this map. And I've heard a concern that I think is valid, that like, oh, are they gonna kind of like do one thing that wasn't super duper great about the end of Sunbreak, where, damn dude, man, unironically, you work pretty good as a pair, where the game gets a little boss rushy and then you're just going, like, it got to a point with the special investigations where you were in the Tower Arena and, oh god, what was Amatsu's area called again? Whatever it was called, you were there a lot. You just got a quadruple monster quest at the single arena, and you just got like the... You just got the rainbow bug over and over again. I feel like the investigation system is still varied enough and still strong enough that that's not necessarily going to be an issue here. But there is some really funny stuff that you can get with the new additions to the Wounded Hollow. I was playing the game with 2 buddies super late one night, and one got, I think it was 9s of Ray and New Udra in the arena. And it is, fighting them together in the arena is kind of easier than fighting the both of them separately, because they just beat the absolute fucking tar out of each other. Like, they annihilate each other. That big body slam combo that New Udra does was doing like, if she got off both hits on Ray, it was like 6,000 damage. You know, multiplayer scaling be damned, that's a lot. I think Laggy's just honestly going to make things even more fun, because you know for a fact those full big body shocks are going to just destroy anything that he's in a quest with. I think that's going to be really fun. Yeah, Wounded Hollow's been really fun in this game, honestly. Without feeling like it invalidates the maps. I can kind of see an argument for not exactly wanting the Apexes here, because they're supposed to be like a regional thing. I don't know, dude, that quest was just so fun that, like, I get it, but still, it's just wicked funny. Should probably focus on the one that is Skull. I do think it'd be really funny if we're getting into, like, the back ends of TU. I was talking about this for a second. If we're getting, like, the wicked end levels, and they're like, yeah, dude, 9-star Chotacabra is gonna be in the game now. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, whatever. That's just funny. I like Chotacabra. I'll take a fight with him where he can actually survive 7 seconds. This is cool, though. It does make me interested in how scaling and everything's gonna go, like, later on. Didn't manage to get that one. Because the one weird thing about, like, what monsters have been title update monsters and what monsters are in what placements is you get monsters of approximately similar, you would assume, in-universe levels of power, at least how they've been scaled against one another. And now, like, the gap in this game in particular is kind of chasmous. And I'm especially thinking of, like, the difference between 3rd generation Lagiacrus and Rathalos versus 6th generation Lagiacrus and Rathalos. Getting some title update level Rathalos could probably be kind of sick, especially for how good he is in this game. Let's see. Been very rambly, but I think there's just a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. Whole bunch of stuff I'd like to get your input to, so you guys can talk in the comments about literally anything that we talk about here today. It's just, honestly, it's really kind of just a live stream without a chat is going to be this video. Well, I try to navigate these 2 Goliaths trying to beat the tar out of me. Oof, alright, damn. Should have ran for that one. Tried to go for the roll again, didn't quite nab it. It's alright, I got more to talk about, I suppose. Cool, that's a nice... I mean, again, this isn't like the craziest build of all time or anything, but that's a nice little challenge. Especially when you get the both of them going at the same time, that's fun. That feels good, though. And I know, poor Gravios. Gravios is a lot of fun in this game. Generally pretty darn well designed. He's just so big-bodied and doesn't have the luxury of being in the power tier where, like, the big buffs started to roll in. So he kind of just got clobbered by how wounds work in this game. And I bet if I wasn't talking and was, like, running an actually good set, I doubt this quest would be particularly difficult. It doesn't have to be. It's just fun. It's just fun. Feels good, though. It's nice to engage with his moveset a little bit more. Because usually once... Because Gravios can kind of tank up for a little bit, but then once you really start getting a couple of wounds on him... Then you get to exploit those, and you get to open a couple more on them. And he can kind of domino effect pretty quick. Which is how Gravios is kind of supposed to work, but that's more so with, like, the part breaks than how the wounds work. I just noticed his wound is in his tongue. That's funny. I am also, I think at this point, been thinking about the Omega update is kind of more what I think about it. I mean, and seeing some of the interviews that have come out from the developers, man, I'm just interested. Like, it's such a weird, out-of-the-box idea for Monster Hunter. Though I definitely... I get what some people are saying. It's like, dude, I'm here for the Monster Hunter monsters. Like, this is just kind of weird. Like, I was even describing the TU to a couple of friends who don't follow this quite as often as I do, and they're like, oh, okay. Like, no, I don't think there's anybody who's like, oh my god, Omega from Final Fantasy. And I think that kind of comes from, you know, the Monster Hunter monsters are so good, and they're so well integrated into there. I was kind of hoping that you were just going to kind of stay away. And your brother pissed you off. That's awesome. Shit. I've also, again, I haven't beaten this quest yet, obviously. I'm kind of just discovering it while I'm talking. At the same time, I do know what the new weapons do, and I think it's really funny what they do. I wonder if anybody's really played with them to see just kind of what they can actually do. I don't think I'm going to do that in this video. I think it's hilarious. What is it like? The more you mine, the more of an attack boost you get. It goes up to like a thing of... It's just like a fat value of 90 raw that you can get. That's hilarious. You get that through mining. And I think it's for, what, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes or something like that. Obviously, the upkeep on that is kind of annoying. And their base stats aren't, like, fantastic from the jump. But still, that's just wicked funny. You know, if they ever expand on the talisman system, I wonder if that kind of gag skill is ever going to get on the RNG talismans. I think that'd be hilarious. I don't feel like they do that, though, because if they put that on an actually decent weapon, that might be a little much. Again, the upkeep on that is a lot to work around, but still. I guess it's worth talking about while we're on just kind of yammering. Let's talk about what videos I'm working on. Like, what's actually coming next now that the world review is kind of done and dusted. Well, I'm pretty much going headfirst into that Frontier series that I was talking about at the end of the Frontier video I put out. What was it? A week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago now? It's been a little while. So I'm going kind of just headfirst right into there because I'm already very excited to work on that. I know we were talking about it being a little bit of like a time filler kind of series and stuff like that. At the same time, I do want to just kind of get the concept off the ground, figure out what my actual format for writing and researching and filming and is always going to be. So I've been working on it already. And we're going to be going relatively in order of the monsters being released. So if you follow along with the original 2 Frontier videos, like the older ones, I did those entry lists according to when the Frontier monsters came out. I'm going to do the entries again in that order for the new series. What I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be covering things like Espinas, Hypnocratrix, and Lavasioth. And what I want to do is compare and contrast the mainline versions with the Frontier versions to see if those guys came back, what's been taken out, what could be added back in, what's kind of still on the cutting room floor for these guys. I gotta take sheathing off of L3. I panic sheath way too much. So I've been working on the Hypnocratrix one. Hypnocratrix is... Well, him and Lavasioth are both the first, but I also feel like Hypnocratrix is a really good place to start, considering the fact that of the 2, far less people would have actually fought Hypnocratrix, was because it's just a matter of fact that more people have played Freedom Unite than have played, or more people have played World than have played Freedom Unite. So, Hypnoc's an interesting one, because he's a little bit lost to time. Even I kind of had to go back and remember what he actually did in Freedom Unite specifically. That's going to be something we're going to be comparing at and looking at, is what the Freedom Unite version of Hypnoc did, and even compare that off of the Frontier version of the monster, because they're not one-to-one exactly. They are slightly different, which I did find interesting. Especially with what came after Hypnoc in the main series, which we'll be talking about. The other thing we're definitely going to be doing is we're going to be doing Bright Hypnoc and Silver Hypnoc in the same video. I was contemplating giving all of the subspecies their own separate videos, but I didn't feel like there was quite enough there to really justify, like, Bright Hypnocatrees getting his own video. I mean, there's enough. If I really wanted to, I could have. At the same time, like, I don't know, let's just kind of do the whole sum total of what Hypnocatris is in Frontier, barring Zenith. I'm not going to do Zenith, and I'm also not going to do Farunoku, which is Hypnoc's close relation that comes out in Frontier G. I feel like the subspecies are close enough that I'm going to want to kind of just pair them together in their own video, all in one big bundle. Simultaneously, if I get around to them, there's stuff like the Exotics, and the Musos, and the Zeniths, and the Hardcores that I think are a little bit more deserving if we actually get there. Because remember, this isn't exactly like one video. I don't feel like I absolutely necessarily 100,000% have to finish this project. I very well might, but even if I do, that's going to take me years to do. Because it's not the only thing that I'm going to do. You'll probably get like 2, maybe 3 of these videos per month. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. It's really going to depend. And there's just so much stuff to cover. But yeah, I think if I get around to it, I might even give the Hardcores their own video. If I did the Hardcores their own video, it'd probably be another, like, species grouping. Like I do Hardcore Basarios, Hardcore Gravios, Hardcore Black Gravios. Then I do, like, all 6 Hardcore Rafts. I do all 4 Hardcore Blosses. I'd probably group some things like Piscenes together, Carapacines together. Also, with Frontier unique species, I'm not going to separate Hardcores with, like, just the species themselves. Are going to just kind of get lump summed. So at this point, I have, I think, about 4 hours worth of Hypnocatris footage over 4 different weapons. I've been using the 4 that I know the best in the game so far. That being Switch Axe, Tonfas, SNS, and Lance, which is a pretty good mix of stuff. I do want to expand that range as we go. Lord knows I really don't want to make gunner armor in this game, just because it's separate gunner armor and it's also frontier armor. That just does not sound fun. So I have to grind all that out separately. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I also have no idea what the gunner weapons even do in Frontier, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Maybe, like, throw Gun Lance in there. Maybe throw Greatsword, Longsword in there. I don't know. Dualies, maybe. Let's keep... Nice if you throw out an attack. Going to open that up on the leg. One thing that I've already realized I want to fix from my kind of research process for this series is I went in and just started recording immediately, which I don't think I'm going to want to do in the future. Because some of the footage, I mean, like, it's fine. But obviously you're watching me more so learn the fight. And if I'm learning the fight, That means I'm like trying fancy things. I'm trying to interact off of monster attacks. It means to kind of get tossed around a little bit. Now he's dropped. Yeah, I think I'm going to just get better footage overall if I don't like record my first fight. You know what I mean? Because even now, I do want to go back and fight them. I think all 3 of them, just a couple more times, just to really kind of feel them out. Because I got a whole bunch of footage, and then I went away for Labor Day weekend. I didn't really get a ton of time to work on the script. I still have, like, general thoughts and everything, but I gotta... I don't know, this one's supposed to be... You know what, I totally forgot I have the Invasion Mantle with me. That'd be helpful. Boom. Yeah, I should have seen the tail raise in there. You know, you can also let me know just like what other weapons you'd like to see me try in those videos. Lance Wax and SNS definitely covers a good bit of ground and does a whole bunch of different things. To just give you a whole bunch of kind of different experiences and perspectives. Because, you know, not every monster is going to be fun with every matchup. Got those combines on me. Let's see what you got. I am a little bit nervous about my analysis for this series, because now it's supposed to be like the first-hand analytics, and I'm supposed to kind of have an in-depth perspective of like how the moves actually work and how the matchups actually work. But I've never claimed to be like the best player in the world. Like, man, I hope this is like actually cohesive and makes sense, and my analysis is good and not just, you know, a skill issue or anything like that. I don't know, you just fight a whole bunch of times and you do the best you can, honestly. I'm never going to be as quite in-depth or as, like, 100% on the ball as, say, like a speedrunner or anything, but I sure as shit can try. I hope I do right by that series, because I feel like the concept of it is so cool. The closest I can think of to people who do exactly what I kind of intend to do is like that one guy who went over all the zeniths in depth. I've watched some of his videos. His videos are wicked funny. In terms of just like a first-hand analytical breakdown of all the Frontier monsters, I don't know anybody who's really kind of like super tried that. I'm going to do my best no matter what at the very least. It is cool though, because if you doing this, it gives you more of an excuse to really kind of look at the moves and like, okay, well, is a guard going to go up against this move better? Is a dodge going to go up against this move better? Am I going to be able to bait and punish off of this move a little bit better with this kind of weapon, with that kind of move, or that kind of weapon with that kind of move? And again, it's not going to be like everything down to an exact science, but it's a fun little kind of brain exercise to really think about the relationships between monster attacks and weapon attacks and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. 2 of those, I'm going to assume I'm probably going to need 5 if I want to make a full weapon. A lot of Gravios hurts too. Is this... Oh, cool. That's Ardean weapons and a heavy armor sphere. Oh, this quest is kind of sick. Nice. Yeah, no. Hypnoc's going to be first. Then we're going to do the Levathioths. Then we're going to do the 3 Espinas. After that, I think it's a Kuravashimu, actually. which I think is going to be a really cool episode, because Akura Vashimu is one of those frontier monsters like that one. I want that one. Of all the ones that I see people kind of talk about, it's like, dude, Scorpion Crystal Monster, this would work in the plains, this would work, blah, 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 blah. That's one I see a lot of excitement for. And there's a lot of excitement for a whole bunch of them, but Vashimu, I feel like, is just so kind of rock solid in design. Crystal Blight is a lot, don't get me wrong, but in terms of concept, he's just so rock solid and super cool that a lot of people are just like, dude, we gotta get him in there. I'd expect that Hypnoc episode to come out, we'll see, maybe towards the end of the week, depending on how fast I'm going. I'm kind of simultaneously just kind of get a good consistent work schedule, but also just like pump the brakes a little. I don't know. I guess I'm just allowing for like a teeny bit more free time. I have a couple of side projects going that I'm not necessarily like monetizing. Maybe I will off of some of them. We'll see where certain things go. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't know if that I can't necessarily announce right now. I don't know. Whole bunch of stuff I'm gonna be like, I'm in a weird impasse, honestly, in my life at the moment, where I've gone from, I've been working on the same thing roughly for 7 months, and it's just consumed so much time, right? And now that's over and done with, so now I have all this time, but I have like 7 things that I want to work on. I talk about this on the live streams, but man, I found that I just really like my job. I just really, really do. There was a surprising, like, lack of finality and need for a break and a stop once the world review is done. You know, when I pressed export on the outro chunk of the video, there wasn't this thing of like, oh, I'm never going to edit ever again. I was just like, awesome, this is done. Now I can, like, move on. Like, it's weird. I really don't feel much of any burnout. Kind of like whatsoever. That is not what I wanted you to do. I don't have lure pods or anything. What I can do... just come this way. You can just charge first thing. Oh, what a good boy you are. There you go. That tail whip is always so weird to dodge. What was I talking about? Alright, just having a whole bunch of stuff that I want to work on. Frontier series. Honestly, I'm gonna have to be taking a look at this year's Christmas special relatively soon. So we're hitting September. I definitely want to get the list like situated and done by October. I gotta start working by November. That project honestly comes up pretty quick. Once I hit the fall. Just because I gotta get all my fucking ducks in a row working on it. I can also say, so I got the Frontier series I'm working on. There'll obviously be a whole bunch of TU3 coverage when that comes out. There'll be more Wilds coverage. It's super bread and butter for the channel right now. We're looking out for more Stories update, Stories 3, I almost said Stories 2. Stories 3 updates, when those start to roll out. We'll have the streams and everything. I've also, relatively soon, have an entry in, like, the Let's Make X Monster Good series come out. It's not going to be, like, one of the ones to make a bad monster good. It's going to be something different in concept. Like, it's going to be more like the Kushala video, if you watch that one. Which not a whole ton of people did, actually, if you want to go back and watch it. It's like, let's make Kushala Dora a god tier. I really like that video. They didn't do anything crazy, though. Well, you're going to be getting another video in that series pretty soon, talking about a monster that hasn't been around in a little while, has some stuff about it that I think's been keeping it out of the series for a while, and how we can maybe kind of start rectifying those problems. That red goes away quick. You got to be on that, huh? So I got that coming up. I did promise during the world review that I was going to do an in-depth Lunastra video at some point. Mostly talking about how her Nova works and how the mechanics of the game work and how they interact off of one another, and the really interesting relationships between World and Iceborne's mechanics and her Nova design, and how she was really close to being what I would consider a particularly excellent monster. If not for some execution flaws in what I consider to be a really conceptually interesting mechanic. I did promise that video. I'm going to have that coming out soon. I feel like I can definitely get that out this month. You know what else I have to do that I haven't done in such a while is the monster highlight videos. There was a point in time where I said that those were going to be like the bread and butter. It was after the Explore video was done, where I said that the monster highlights were going to start to turn into the bread and butter of the channel. Because the series' original, like, biggest claim to fame was the monsters behind the mainline series. And that was wrapped up. That only had so much mileage. But I could do so much with the monster highlights. So, like, the Rathalos one, the Zinogre one, the Teostra one, the Carapacian one. Like, to this day, I only still have those 4. Oh, there's the Royal Ludroth one, too. To this day, I only have those 5 done in that series for such a giant roster of monsters. And that particular series is kind of this interesting little middle child in the channel's history, where they're really cool videos. I really enjoy making them. They do take a good amount of time. They take about a month and a half or so, especially with just the amount of detailing and quality control that I do nowadays. Especially opposed to, you know, like say the original Rathalos video. Let's see. But at the same time, none of them did anything like... They were never, like, the big breadwinners of the channel. They do well. But Frontier was really the big breadwinner of the channel. And then, like, the celebration and critiques are, like, the giant super projects. And then after I've done the big super projects, I do kind of want to spend a lot of time working on, you know, 40-minute videos, 20-minute videos, tier lists, stuff like that. Things that are a little bit easier to manage. And then, like, games news coverage and stuff like that. So that series kind of gets middle child. And I've been wanting to go back into that well a lot, but there's just not really been a lot of good time for it. I don't know if I might be able to get, like, 1 out this year. I think I could probably get 1 out this year. You're the one that I want. You're also the one that's more off to the side here. Let's see if I can lower you off. The one I know, again, I said I wanted to do it, I think in a community post. God, it was supposed to come out last year. And then the 20th anniversary Pole Redo project just devoured so much time last year. It was going to be Jan Garuga. I still want to do Jan Garuga. I don't think I'll change the target. But man, that video was supposed to come out a long time ago. This seems to kind of just happen a whole bunch to me. It's like I have a bunch of stuff slated, and then something... some greater part of my ambition just devours so many other really cool little projects. I don't know, the big projects are just so fun and so cool to do. They have such a finality to them. Gotcha. I don't know if I can officially announce it because I have so much other stuff I do want to work on. But if I can, I'll see if I can get that Jan Garuga video done this year. I don't know if I doubt I'll be able to get a second highlight done this year. Unless I'm like really going. Or unless I pick a monster that just doesn't have as much to him. Honestly, that's been one of the things that's also kept me off that series a little bit. Is I've always been like, well, I don't know if like this monster's really kind of hit its peak yet. Maybe I don't exactly want to delve into it just yet, because then it's highlight videos like done and dusted, but what if it comes out again really soon, blah, 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 blah. You know, what then? I don't know, at some point, you know, maybe just kind of gotta bite the bullet and do the video, you know what I mean? Garuga would be a good one, though. Honestly, you should tell me down in the comments, like, I know we have a suggestion tab in the Discord, but things also kind of just get buried. Let me know what you would like to see, if there's any series that you think need continuing. Because there's a whole bunch of those, honestly. There's the weapon glazing ones. I've done one for Switch Axe. I've done one for Lance. That Lance one's one of my favorites. There was also the realistic weapon description one. That was more like the gag edit comedy series. I liked that one. That wasn't anything crazy. I don't know if I'll go back into like that. I just have so much other stuff to do that is not a top-level priority anymore. But I liked those videos. Those were funny. Notice an editing pause right there as I had to blow my nose. I can't have my fan on, and I've just been talking and talking, so... yeah, that was fun. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, let me know what you guys want to see. To be fair, I don't always take... I do kind of like going to the beat of my own drum a little bit and just like, I'm going to make whatever the hell I want to make. But at the very least, even if I might not, like, hard adhere to it, it's at least interesting to hear what you guys want to see. Generally, every time I announce something, though, you're like, oh, that sounds sick. So, I think we're probably good one way or the other. But, I'm at least, like, curious what you guys enjoy that I make, you know what I mean? I know there's some of you who'll just watch whatever I make, because you're here for more so even for me, which I appreciate. But there is also that contingent of people that is like, what are you here for? What do you actually like that I do? Might also potentially have a collaboration coming up somewhat soon. They gotta figure that out. But there's another dude in the Monster Hunter YouTube scene, a little bit younger in it than I am, actually, which is wicked funny that I'm, like, not necessarily the new kid anymore. I really like his stuff. We haven't officially planned out anything yet, but I really want to work with him. Because I think he makes just has some really cool discussion type videos, some really good long form content that he makes. Not necessarily like scripted long form essay type stuff, but it's still just long form discussion pieces about Monster Hunter in general, which I think are really good. I love to work with them. So I do want to like pitch ideas back and forth with them at some point. There we go. Fucking maniac ducking and diving around through that. Boom. Might leave in some of this gameplay just because it's satisfying to play. I hope it's satisfying to watch. I say as the fucking dodge just doesn't come out. What else to talk about? There's some state of the channel stuff. Might want to be doing more 3 streams a week. I know I haven't streamed Wilds in a good long time, but honestly, that's just because my weekends have been busy. I've been heading out and just enjoying myself and also hanging out with the guys a whole bunch. We just didn't get to hang out a lot this summer. So it's good that we've been like finally able to. Honestly, it's really kind of the main reason I haven't streamed Wilds. It's not like any issue with Wild specifically. It's just that like real life called. Sometimes it's just other stuff to do on a Saturday. But yeah, I'd like to start streaming some other games. Definitely like more multiplayer stuff too. Because I can definitely do the single player, sit around and talk. Like the Doom, the Dark Ages streams were fun. But even then, like they're best when I have a co-host. But at this point I have so many people potentially on call that I basically kind of have a co-host whenever I want. Which is awesome, and I really appreciate my friends both in the community at large and in my immediate friend group for being able to provide that for me. Honestly, it makes the streams a whole lot better. Because I'm interesting enough. But man, I am so much funnier when I have someone to bounce off of. Like, I've been able to talk fine for this video. Maybe that'd be something interesting to do in the future if we want to do kind of these more like play and record type of things. I can bring like Nate to throw ideas at and get second opinion off of if he's around or something like that. That'd be fun. Nice. You know what I should do? I should make the full Gravios armor sets to kind of commemorate it. Why not? We just dropped like fucking 4 of them. Can I even... No, you're dead. Okay. It's alright. Let's see. Yeah. So, streaming a little bit more. Helldivers for sure. More Warhammer for sure. Probably some Battlefield 6 too. Because a lot of people that I play with are really excited for Battlefield 6. If you haven't watched it already, I made kind of like a Vanoss Gaming style funny moments Battlefield 6 video over on the second channel. It's kind of this similar vein to what I want Matt to do for the stream clipping eventually, because I don't know if I have the time to do that by myself. Yeah, roughly 20 minutes on that. That's good. Definitely good for yapping over. And then, yeah, so video-wise, the Frontier series is getting up and running. We're definitely going to have Hypnoc probably like early next week at the very latest, this week at the earliest. We got a new, like, Let's Retool a Monster video coming up. We got the Lunastra video coming up. Christmas special is going to be worked on in, like, a couple of months. I think we can definitely do that Jan Garuga video. I'm interested to see what else you guys want to do. We'll do the Lavasia thing for Frontier sometime after that. We'll have more Wilds content that we can cover. We'll have some Stories 3 stuff probably coming out soon. It feels nice. It really does now that the world thing is over and done with. And I can just kind of like stop life supporting the channel and just... Because we were running off of Wilds updates and live streams for months. And now I can just take it off of that life support. Keep the channel going nice and healthy. And hopefully just kind of keep the algo going nice and fresh to the point where that world review gets promoted to where, you know, it totally should be. I think ultimately releasing the parts and then especially releasing the full thing so soon after the parts was ultimately not a good idea. It was a little bit of a short-term panic move because I was like going on vacation and I was nowhere near done. But I had part 1 done. Like, dude, I gotta do effing something, or I'm just like, I'm not going to be making money. I think ultimately that was the wrong decision in the long term. But even like the parts didn't like explode or anything. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen when the Christmas special comes out. Because even though the Christmas specials, the individual episodes usually don't do anything nuts, the consistency of uploads still tends to just algo jack the fuck out of the channel. Which should be fun. We'll see what happens off of that. So yeah, those are some videos I can announce. The second channel is going to still keep going strong with stream clips and maybe some other edits and whatnot. Because I have some other things that I just kind of want to smack together because I think they'll be funny. I do definitely want to get Matt editing, like, the funny moment stuff, but I know he's also, like, in between jobs and stuff like that. So that might take more time than I thought it was going to. I gotta bring Bone Boys Radio back up to Austin, which was the second live show idea that we had that we wanted to launch back in spring, but then Austin also is between jobs and had a really bad start to his year. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's like, I have so many projects I want to work on, dude. I don't know how I'm gonna like, I do know how I'm gonna do them all, but I just want to now that the world review is done, I just want a content machine, dude. I really do. I just want to make a whole bunch of stuff. I want to stream a whole bunch. I want to make just a crap ton of videos, do a crap ton of coverage, put a whole bunch of funny stuff over on the second channel. I just want to make a ton of stuff and make money for it, you know? I feel like we're in a position where we just need kind of a couple of things to really pop, and then we can get the whole CR-Volcanic network to spiderweb really well. I feel like there's a lot of really good groundwork that's kind of just slow and steadying. And if I can just get it to all kind of fire, I think we'll do a really good job. Let's see. Yeah, no, this has just been talking and yapping. Kind of like a little opening volley into September. Talking about Wilds, where it is right now, and some of the cool stuff that it's doing. Talking about the future of the channel, kind of like a updates video type of ordeal. Where we're going next, what we're going to be doing. Let me know about anything that we discussed. Let me know what you're looking forward to with the channel, what you'd like to see with the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the other two, so like the VOD archive and the second, those are right there. If you haven't watched the Giant World Review yet, it's really good. It's like one of the best things I've ever worked on. I'll do like a little link to it right here as we close out in a little bit of promo, move you over to some other stuff. As for right now, though, this has been CR-Volcanic or Connor. I'll see you around.